No? Is it? Started? Hold on. See if we can get YouTube up. Are you? Is it working? All right. I think we're live. Apologies. Wow. Who the fuck? Are you always? You guys? Okay. I don't need any help. All right. So let's get into this. We'll have to sit through his little intro. Actually,
welcome to No Fugazi.
I'm not gonna say we're just gonna sit through his intro. I actually kind of want to see it. So this No Fugazi dude, he's like a red pill guy, I guess. Um, I saw him do a debate recently on the Raging Tomato channel. Shout out to Sarah. Jeez. Um, and it seems like recently he's been taking some hints from Andrew Wilson. Seems like he's like using his debating style a lot. And looks like he's hosting a debate here with Andrew and Tazaryach. I think that's how you pronounce it. I don't know, whatever. I'm gonna speed this up a little bit so we don't have to sit here forever. Because this is like a 5-hour video. Like, I'm not sure how much of this is the actual debate. I've never looked at this before. Like I said, I like to give you guys these raw reactions. Like, I'm not looking this stuff up beforehand or anything. But they're debating like whether polygyny is good for the West and whether it's a sin. Which again, this is all gonna come down to like, biblical interpretations of whatnot. So let's see. I'm not a Christian, so I don't have a dog in the fight.
Fugazi podcast. I'm your host, Cooley. Tonight we have a special, amazing episode. It is debate night featuring Andrew Wilson and Captain Tazaryach. They will be debating polygyny. Is polygyny good for the West, and is polygyny a sin? Right before I go ahead and bring these two gentlemen up, let's go ahead and hop into the intro.
I've never seen his intro before, so like I really want to actually
y'all
look
see
at
the
this.
suit too, man. Listen, new studio, new podcast, by the spirit, not by the letter. Bro, we can go verse for verse all day long. Doing new things, are okay with understanding the reality that we are in competition with one another. But you ladies think that you're special. We are in competition.
And I would say that, like, he does have his own debate style. I'm not a big fan of his like original debate style. It's kind of cookie cutter red pill. But like since he's kind of started doing different stuff and kind of taking some of Andrew's and mixing it into his own, he's become a lot more entertaining, I can definitely say.
So here's my word. I'll fly you out here. We can do it in person.
And he makes some fairly logical points as well.
And then after that, we could box. I'm about my business. So remember, I said, when I ask you these questions, I will dismantle your entire argument. That's the end of the debate, my dog.
I'm 39, but I don't look a typical 39.
Kelly.
Yeah.
You look 39. It's okay, though. That man isn't intimidated by a woman like you. He's annoyed by a woman like you. Because a man doesn't want to date another man. He wants to date a woman.
Yeah, like I said, he's like a red pill guy. It's the music he chose for his intro is just very interesting to me. Like, where did he get that from? Where did he get that music from?
All right, chat. Welcome back to No Fugazi podcast. As usual, let's get to normal schedule programming before we bring the two gentlemen up. So normal schedule programming, we have a few links in the description. The first link is to join a membership. We got 3 tiers. First tier is Gang. Second tier is Hitman. Third tier is Mob Ties. If you like this podcast and you want to support the podcast and continue to watch it grow, go ahead and join the membership, man. It looks like we went viral again, so just reached another 30,000 subscribers in just this month. So why not subscribe and be a member, man? It's good content that we're pushing out, and we have an amazing debate for you guys tonight.
Okay.
And then the next links is going to be for one-on-one coaching. Then we got the clips channel, and then all of the social media is right in the description. So
It doesn't
if you want to
feel
go
like
ahead
it's
and
sped up.
subscribe to any of my channels,
can't
and any
believe
of the
it's
guest
actually
channels, we're going
slower
to have
than
their
that.
links down below as well. We got the Facebook,
Maybe
the
it's just
TikTok,
me.
the Instagram, the X, all of the accounts right below in the YouTube description. Without further ado, let's go ahead and let's get ready to run.
Let's get ready to rumble!
All right, here we go. Welcome to No Fugazi Podcast, Cap and Andrew Wilson. Looks like he's just bringing up his screen now.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Okay, fellas, welcome to No Fugazi Podcast. So we spoke behind the scenes, and it looks like both of them were equal. They was like, I don't really care who goes first. But for you guys, we are doing 4-minute intros, and then it's just going to be, free for all debate. So open format debate. Other than that, if things get a little out of hand, I will, jump in every now and then. But, these two
All
guys
right.
are
I
professionals.
want to
They've
hear
been
the
doing it for a
opening
while.
arguments,
So
but Jesus.
it probably will get out of hand. And I may have to jump in and do like a 30-second timer or 1-minute timer. But whatever we need to get the debate done.
Size sex as he wants. I remember initially I had
Okay.
Jump in every now and then, but these two guys are professionals. They've been doing it for a while, so it probably will get out of hand. And I may have to jump in and do like a 30-second timer or 1-minute timer. But whatever we need to get the debate done and create some decorum, we'll get it done here at No Fugazi Podcast. So I guess I'll go ahead and pick since you guys were equal on it. So how it go is I'll go ahead and have Captain Tazaryach go first. Since he'll be going first, then for the closing statement, he'll give his closing statement last. I believe that's how it works. Okay. All right. The floor is yours.
All right, hurry up.
Cap, you're actually muted on my end. I can't hear you.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Come
You're
on.
perfect. Yes, sir.
Okay. I was just
Jeez.
making sure my audience
Do I have
could
to
hear me.
speed
They
this
said
up
they couldn't hear
more?
me earlier when I was streaming. So I was just making sure they came. But you said I'm going first, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And then you'll be going last for your closing statement.
Jeez.
Okay, that's fine. I'm cool with that. I'm just make sure my audience tell me that they can hear me before I start. Make sure we don't have no technical issues.
Holy.
Go. I appreciate you. Okay, they're saying I'm good.
Right.
All right, perfect. All right, so I think the topic that Cooley picked, if I'm not mistaken, is polygyny. Can polygyny save the West? Is it a sin? Is the topic of this.
Can it
particular
save the
debate.
West?
I remember
Like,
initially
well,
I
is
had
it
said
good
to
for the West?
Cooley, we need to have something Bible based in there, and then I didn't read the part where he said, "Is it a sin?" And so I was comfortable with the subject. So my position on polygamy, if I say polygamy, forgive me, that's what I'm used to saying. That's the word I'm used to saying. So on my subject on monogamy, polygyny, is that the Bible doesn't say it doesn't mandate either. It's only when you get to Christianity, and if you want to say the Western way of life, that they mandate monogamy. But at the same time, all manner of whoredom is promoted. All manner of fornication is promoted. And where Christianity fails God, and why they're in sin, is that marriage is only if you get that government contract that actually validates the contract between a man and a woman. And so even though you have that contract of a man and a woman, that same man can have as much outside sex as he wants. The woman in some cases has outside sex that they want before they even get married. I remember my dad told me before I get married to sow all my oats, make sure I got it all out the way, because once I'm married, I got to be with this one woman. That's sin. Because according to the Bible, when you lay with a man or woman, that's marriage. So when we say what can save the West, I would say morality can save the West, because the West has absolutely no morality. It doesn't know how it exists. In the West, you can be gay and be married. You can be lesbian and be married. 1-to-1. So what does monogamy really mean in the West when gays can get married in the West, lesbians can get married in the West? So I think all of it is a sin. And from a moral standpoint, if we actually understood what sex really was to God, we would all stop sinning and then put real value on what marriage actually is. I'll land right there.
All right. Thank you for your opener, man. And Andrew Wilson?
I don't really understand what the arguments were there, but just to address them very quickly, marriage is a government contract. It's not a government contract, has no bearing on any of this. He says morality can save the West. The debate topic's not about whether or not morality can save the West, but if polygyny can, in this case, is it even good for the West?
So let's start his opening argument over again.
The woman in some cases has outside sex that they want before they even get married. I remember, I'm just make sure my audience tell me that they can hear me before I start. Make sure we don't have no technical issues. Of life that they mandate monogamy, but at the same of life that they mandate, I'm just make sure my audience tell me that they can hear me before I start. Make sure we don't have no technical issues. Just making sure we good to go. I appreciate you. Okay, they're saying I'm good.
Like,
All right, so I
he
think
didn't
the
really
topic
make an
that,
argument.
Cooley picked, if I'm not mistaken, is polygyny.
Like, I mean,
Can polygyny save the West? Is it a sin? Is the topic of this particular debate. I remember initially I had said to Cooley, we need to have something Bible based in there, and then I didn't read the part where he said, "Is it a sin?" And so I was comfortable with the subject. So my position on polygamy, if I say polygamy, forgive me, that's what I'm used to saying. That's the word I'm used to saying. So on my subject on monogamy, polygyny, is that the Bible doesn't say it doesn't mandate either. It's only when you get to Christianity, and if you want to say the Western way of life, that they mandate monogamy. But at the same time, all manner of whoredom is promoted. All manner of fornication is promoted. And where Christianity fails God, and why they're in sin, is that marriage is only if you get that government contract that actually validates the contract between a man and a woman. And so even though you have that contract of a man and a woman, that same man can have as much outside sex as he wants. The woman in some cases has outside sex that they want before they even get married. I remember my dad told me before I get married to sow all my oats, make sure I got it all out the way, because once I'm married, I got to be with this one woman. That's sin, because according to the Bible, when you lay with a man or woman, that's marriage. So when we say what can save the West,
The I'm still not like
I would say morality can save the West, because the West has absolutely no morality. It
right, but like I don't know if he's really speaking to like polygyny at all.
doesn't know how it exists in the West. You can be gay and be married. You can be lesbian and be married, 1 to 1. So what does monogamy really mean in the West when gays can get married in the West, lesbians can get married in the West? So I think all of it is a sin.
Yeah, like I
And from a
just don't
moral
understand
standpoint,
what
if we
this
actually
argument
understood
is.
what sex really was to God, we would all stop sinning and then put real value on what marriage actually is. I'll land right there.
Yeah, I don't think he made an argument. Like I like to listen like very closely. This is why you saw me like go back and like really like listen to it all over again. Like I mean, I guess if I were to try to steal back what I think he's saying is that marriage doesn't really matter in the West anyway. So like we need morality to begin with. And if they're like mandating monogamy and there are all these other problems, like what would make polygyny a bad thing? He's not saying it would save the West, like, but yeah, I don't like he's not actually speaking to like what the debate is about. So I don't even know, like, yeah. I just wanted to before we listen to Andrew's argument, I just needed to review that to see like if I really heard him correctly.
All right, thank you for your opener, man. And Andrew Wilson?
I don't really understand what the arguments were there, but just to address them very quickly.
Yeah, like okay, so like I have to agree with Andrew already. Like I don't understand what the arguments were.
Marriage is a government contract. It's not a government contract. Has nothing, no bearing on any of this. He says morality can save the West.
It's not technically.
Debate topic's not about whether or not morality
Like it is, but it isn't. Like the contract is like secondary to the like what marriage is and
can save the West, but if polygyny can, in this case, is it even good for the West? I'm even willing to accept that. But I'll dive right into my opening here. Today, we debate polygyny is good for the West. The answer here is a resounding no. I've often believed that the pro-polygynist crowd only advocates for this because they want to fuck a bunch of different women and justify it. It really is that simple. The strange part here is why advocate for any form of marriage when you can already do that. Think about it. My opponent doesn't believe in state marriage. You heard him just say it just now. He doesn't think it's in any way meaningful ultimately, so there isn't anything stopping him or anybody else legally from just declaring they are married and have many women live with them. They can hump them. They can have children with them. In fact, his version of polygyny is basically practiced right now by the black community by and large, and it just creates a single mother factory, which in turn destroyed their entire civilization in America.
I mean I'm not gonna lie, this was a crazy argument. I mean, like at least the last thing he said was, but like as an example of that, I mean, I guess he's technically not wrong, but it's probably the first time I've heard anybody say that. Like, but no, I don't. I disagree. They're not actually. It's not really. That's not polygyny. Because a lot of that's just degeneracy.
It's done all over the country, in fact, by small handfuls of people, and the outcomes are never great. To the meat of the argument, my opponent often says, and this is a really weird one, that women aren't engineered for polygamy, but men are engineered for polygyny. His argument goes like this. A man can procreate with many women at a time, and a woman can only procreate with a single man at a time. I don't think I've gotten that wrong. He is appealing to plumbing and nature here, but the argument has a massive hole in it. You see, friends, he needs to explain that if this is supposed to be some natural way things are done, just based on the possibility they can be done, why almost equal amounts of boys and girls are born naturally. It's 105 boys for every 100 girls. So actually, boys actually have a slight advantage there. So if it was the natural conditional that men were supposed to have many wives, why are they born in equal rates to women? That's a really stupid argument. If nature was making an appeal to men being with many women, why wouldn't it distribute the male category as being significantly lesser than the female category? Makes zero sense. Also, wouldn't it be natural for women who value resources and protection to desire many men?
I don't think that necessarily follows, but sure.
Who could provide that? Also, let's be real. Much like with the LGBTQ, polygyny.
He's actually throwing out a lot of arguments here, so I might not catch all of them right now, but they'll probably get into each one of them.
advocates hide behind vague language of love without actually explaining the mechanics of what they want. It's a way to mask how degenerate the whole thing really is. I actually want my opponent tonight to explain the mechanics of polygyny and multiple wives. Can you have sex with them all at the same time? Can one suck your balls while the other one sits on your face? Can one fluff you with her mouth and to get you ready for the next one? Can you half ejaculate into one, pull out, and finish in another one? Can one of your wives spit cum into another one of your wives' vaginas, bro? Actually
Whoa.
explain the mechanics of what is
Why did
permitted.
we?
Not just that,
Why
but
did we
Muslims
get
at least
so
have some kind of
graphic here?
ecclesiology when it comes to who can and can't practice polygyny with specific guidelines. Where's the ecclesiology of my opponent to describe who gets to and who doesn't get to be a polygynist? Is there an income threshold, living standard? What's allowable? Polygyny increases social instability and crime, at least a serious harm for women and children. It's simple. Why? Adults in the home of non-biological children increases the risk of the safety of those children by massive rates. It doesn't matter if this is male or female. Every social study done by any side of the argument doesn't even dispute this point. It splits a father's attention between which in-group to give preference to based on which wife. It's the stepchild problem in real time. Next, this is a class-dependent lifestyle. Why would we try to waste any resources normalizing it in any way? Right now, it's difficult for one man to afford one family, let alone many, and the ability for the men to afford these families is going to be dependent on having a status unattainable to almost all men. Evidence for my claims, if you'd like them, I can pull them up for time purposes. I'm not going to go through it. I'll go right to the biblical stuff. I know that you wanted to get into that too. If you'll humor me, if I need a slight extension here, I hope you will. But I wanted to dive into those very quickly if you'd like. Let's start with Adam and Eve. If God wanted to have multiple wives, why didn't he create multiple wives for him? When asked about divorce, Christ quotes Genesis, and what does he reference? He references Adam and Eve and the
I mean, if you're appealing to the Bible, I guess. I guess that's an argument. But I don't. That one is like, I mean, sure. Like, it's, again, like all this is going to come down to like biblical interpretation. Because you could use Adam and Eve, but you could also use some other figures in the Bible who had multiple wives and it was okay. So,
becoming one flesh. My opponent, like all supposed Christian polygynists, brings up examples of polygyny in the Bible as if that makes the case polygyny was somehow endorsed, commanded by God, or is permitted, not sinful. Examples of polygyny in the Old
but how do we determine that? Like where in the Bible did it say like, and God punished him for the sin of having these wives that he told him to take? Because I think in some instances, like God technically directed them, or somebody that was supposedly a messenger of God would was directing them to marry them. Some shit like that. I'm not an expert on the Bible.
Old Testament would be Abraham's wife Sarah, who was barren, asked Abraham out of desperation to have a child through their servant Hagar. It wasn't his idea. She regrets doing so later, and Hagar and his son Ishmael leave. He never had multiple wives. Isaac, Abraham's son through Sarah, marries Rebekah, and they're seen as a true example of a godly couple. You can see that in Genesis 24:67, which goes to show it wasn't a marriage of convenience or securing interfamilial relations. Jacob ended up having two wives, Leah and Rachel, but only through being tricked. Right? We can get into that if he wants to. Moses marries Zechariah, daughter of Jethro, in Numbers 12:1. But we have no idea if he's actually married to two women. And then we can look at David, the second line, king of Israel.
So is he just gonna go through all of the supposed polygynous relationships in the Bible?
As a third line of marrying women, this keeps causing problems for him and his family, right? We can dive into all of that too. But my basic conclusion here is I have to wrap up very quickly. The basic error made by many Christians stems from one wrong presupposition, which we can call
just a couple,
biblical good guy fallacy. One massive difference between the biblical stories and other ancient literature is that the biblical protagonist is very often flawed. Some are near perfect, such as Daniel, Samuel, Elijah, but most are far from. This is an almost pagan understanding of heroes, and that the Bible leads to, and it leads to people to many basic errors, concluding that polygyny is acceptable is one of them. God tolerates much worse things until he doesn't. So anyway, I'll leave it there for right now. I'd like to, if we could, start with the claims on the social aspect and then move to the biblical aspects. That's what I prepared for this debate.
Yeah, it's open format right now. If anyone wants to pose the first question, you're able to.
Before we go, can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
I knocked my road player down by mistake. You're gonna see me refresh. I just didn't want to do it while you was talking, so I'm just gonna refresh real fast.
Cool. Yeah. All right. While we are waiting for Captain Tazaryach to come back up,
What the
get
fuck?
the lights up, man. Get the lights up. Don't be an angry watcher.
I'm thinking the debate is about to like officially start now that they're done with our opening argument.
All right.
Right. Come like all my
All right.
too.
At least that didn't take too long.
Also, so we got Andrew Wilson on the Crucible. He's tagged on the title. Go ahead and follow him. We got Captain Tazaryach. He's tagged. Go ahead and follow him as well, man. Support the gentleman. All right. Cap, can you speak so we can see if we hear you?
Testing 1 2. Can you hear me?
No. And you know what? I think you're on the wrong mic. I think you're on like maybe a laptop mic or something like that. That's what I think.
So I had my road player and I was plugging my laptop in, and I think I knocked and it unplugged.
Maybe turn it up a little bit real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me go back to it. Hold on. Get it off. Testing 1 2. Testing 1 2. What about now? Is it any better now?
It's audible, but it's very low.
Yeah, it's let me turn you up on my end. Hold up.
Okay. And I apologize for that. I knocked it off by mistake. I apologize.
Okay.
I've done
I
shit
just-
like that.
Yeah, man. I'm sorry about that. Let me
I've done
try
shit
this.
like that.
I'm gonna step away for 1 second.
You sound better now.
Yeah,
sound
you
better
sound
now.
good.
When he turns you up.
I turned
Oh,
you up on my end. You sound good.
Okay. All right, so I do
Yeah,
sound
he
fine.
about to step away
Okay, all right,
again.
Your first question I wanted to establish is
Oh.
what do you consider marriage?
Do you well, I can give you my biblical definition if you'd like.
Well, I'm asking because you said that I don't respect the paper, which I never said that, but I'm trying to understand.
Well, I don't. So state marriage to me is essentially meaningless. So when you say things like lesbians and homosexuals can get married, they actually can't get married. What they can have is they can have the state make a
Right.
claim of officiation and give them a
Right,
piece
that's
of
what I'm
paper.
referring to.
Yeah, right. But that's not marriage. You would agree with me that's
Oh.
not marriage, right?
It's not marriage to me.
Well, it's just not
The
marriage,
reason why,
period.
but in the West, that piece of paper says they're married. That's why I
It's
said
not
in the
marriage,
West.
right?
So
Well,
in
it's
America,
to me, it's a word concept fallacy. So
Yeah.
it's true that the state uses the word marriage.
It is a word concept fallacy, but technically, they just gave the word a new definition. So
And also in religion, we use the word marriage. In Christianity, we use the word marriage. But that doesn't mean they have the same meaning. They don't have the
No.
same meaning. So you can have a
you have
word.
churches
Yeah, they
that
don't.
are
Well, hang on. Let me just give
recognized.
the explanation. I promise I'll give you
Okay.
plenty of time to respond.
No problem.
But if you have,
in your explanation, can you just explain what marriage is to you as well?
yeah, I can actually. I gave a complete definition, or I have a complete definition here. So I want to make sure, in case this came up, to make sure that we got the semantics correct. So, um, 1 second here.
is he gonna give us the Christian definition for marriage and then like the dictionary one or something?
I'll pull it up. So the main example in Orthodoxy and anything Christ in the case of marriage, it is his marriage with Israel, both the Old Testament, New Testament. Throughout the Old Testament, God speaks
I knew it.
of his bride Israel. Although Israel's okay, so I guess I'll give you the Reader's Digest definition. To me, biblical marriage is one man, one woman,
He's like, let me just summarize it.
right? It's officiated by the Orthodox Church, and it's a sacrament. It's a sacrament. That's what marriage.
What I
to me
mean
would
is,
be.
okay, I get that concept. I agree with that concept, whether it's one man or multiple. What I'm asking you is, for you, what consummates? I'll give you my lens. My
Okay.
lens, biblically speaking, if you lay with that woman, that's your wife. Is
Yeah,
that your lens?
no.
Or that's what I'm trying to get to.
No,
What
that
is
wouldn't.
marriage to you?
No, and that doesn't even reflect the Old Testament. So even the way that they married in the Old Testament, it was ceremonial. I can give you many examples of this, but the consummation came at the end.
I mean, technically,
That's not true.
It is true. The Old Testament marriages were officiated by the heads of families, clans, tribes, patriarchs of the familial units.
Not true.
They would be feast involved, and at certain times, the groom and bride would go to the bedchamber, consummate the marriage. Thereby, they would become one. That is true. That is in fact
So,
true.
when I'm saying that that's not true, you can have a ceremony or you cannot have a ceremony. But if you lay with that woman, that's your wife. In Genesis, the 29th chapter, after Jacob worked 7 years, the ceremony was for Rachel. Leah was sent in the bedchamber. He laid with laid with Leah. They were married. Then he laid with Rachel. No ceremony. Then Leah and Rachel gave him midwives. Gave him their servants. Laid with them. No ceremony. When Haggai laid with Abraham, no ceremony.
Didn't say ceremony. It's a sacrament. Under Christianity, it's a sacrament.
Sacrament
When
was
I'm talking
given-
about the Old
You
Testament,
just said the Old Testament. You got to be
I'm
careful
talking
what you say.
yeah, this is what I'm saying.
a
I'm talking about in the Old
sacrament.
Testament how they officiated marriage. You're giving us a hyper-specific example of something which would still be considered a legitimate marriage, right? But it had nothing to do with the intercourse portion of it. If this was the
No,
case, if this was a hang on,
it was made them husbands.
No, it doesn't.
Can I read the verse?
read it.
No problem. This is
Give me the verse quote.
This is
they're
Genesis
about to.
29,
Here we go.
and
It's the Bible fight.
let's start at Genesis 30:4 it says, and 3, Genesis the 30th chapter, 3rd verse. And she said, behold, my maid Bilhah, go in unto her, and she shall bear upon my knees, that I may also have children by her. And she gave him Bilhah, her handmaid, to wife. And Jacob went in unto her. So the sex is what made them husband and wife.
That's a
There was
completely
and as a matter of fact, no man gave it away, no sacrament given. She said, here's my handmaid. Lay with her. That's your wife.
there's a completely unbiblical view of this, including by all the church fathers who studied this from the very beginning. If you go to Genesis,
Okay, here we go with the church fathers. Yeah,
is what both Jesus and St. Paul quote when speaking of
There
marriage.
was no ceremony for Adam and Eve.
The two becoming one flesh.
Where was the
Hang
ceremony
on,
for Adam
hang on.
and Eve?
Can I finish what I'm saying to you? Right? It's absurd for you to make the
Yeah,
claim that
Adam
it's
and
the
Eve didn't have a
intercourse
ceremony?
that makes them married. Where do
As
you
far as we
infer
know.
from that passage that it's the intercourse itself that creates the marriage compact between the two? So, for instance, if a woman is raped, right, why would they not be married then?
Yeah, technically speaking, his own logic would work against him, because it's like if there's no ceremony when Adam and Eve were technically married or whatever, technically you could argue they were married from the beginning. But were they married just once they had sex? Or were they married before that? Like, when did Adam and Eve actually become married, if they were ever married?
By that logic, why would intercourse equal marriage?
Well, grape is something that your people do. It's not something that the Bible says is marriage.
Why did he say that? It's just like people of like every group do that. Why did he just like? It's something that your people do. What do you mean by that?
Because rape is forced sex. That's not lawful.
The Bible is not saying
No
that they're married
shit.
in that passage.
But- oh my God, I'm not gonna lie, this is funny.
Because of the sex.
Why is it saying wife? Genesis 30:4, and she gave him Bilhah her handmaid to wife, and Jacob went in unto her. And just a quick comment.
So she was given for she was given for him to wife, but it doesn't say what made her the wife was that they had
Jacob
sex.
went in. What does the went in
It
mean?
just means he fucked her. It doesn't mean that that's what made it official. You're saying show me how that's the officiate.
You said
That doesn't show anything. Yes.
You said in the
Yeah, it really doesn't.
Old Testament it was sacrament. Where's the sacrament at? Because we can read that they had sex.
Yeah, where's the sacrament? That's what I want to know.
You can read that she was a wife. Where does it say sacrament?
Yeah, what I was giving you was an overview of how Jewish marriages were done in the Old Testament. You're giving a particular.
And I'm giving you in the Old Testament.
You're giving me a particular. But what I'm saying is that in regards to this particular, it could be possible that there's marriage in the particular, but that doesn't mean that the sexual intercourse is what made them married. Show me how the sex itself makes you married.
Show me the sex is the marriage.
No, that's a claim that you're not backing it up with anything.
I'm backing it up, right?
All you're saying is that he fucked her. You're not saying that's what made.
I ain't gonna lie. The sex is the marriage. Now, this is kind of crazy, but like here. So if I'm not mistaken, the definition of marriage. Why is this so annoying? But the definition of marriage is like very basic. Like if you actually go to like the most basic definition of marriage, this might be what he doing is what I'm saying, because I've done this before. No. Let's see. A combination or a mixture of two or more elements, right? So when they say like, sex is the marriage, or when he says sex is the marriage, this is what I'm getting from what he's saying. I'm assuming he's using this basic kind of like scientific, definition of or even spiritual definition of marriage, right? Like, because once you have sex, you've mixed juices, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Once you've done that, you've essentially become one with the person or whatever, right? So that's what I'm assuming he means when he says that. That's the only way that I can make what he's saying make sense. When he says like marriage is the sex.
Made them married.
Did the Bible say handmaid to wife? Yes or no?
Yeah. Okay. Let's pull it up again. What is it? Genesis what?
Genesis chapter 30, verse 4. I got to turn one of my lights off. They said.
No, I'm not a gang member. This is actually an Ohio State bandana.
I'm looking real light.
You're a little pale. Yes.
Also, while you're looking that up,
she gave him her servant Bilhah as a wife, and Jacob slept with her.
I don't know what version that you read.
Yeah, that was just the NIV. You want King James?
Well, can you read that again? I want to see. Yeah, I would say it.
Yeah, she gave him her servant Bilhah's wife. Jacob slept with her. I can pull up the King James version if you prefer that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's no problem. Hang on. We'll do King James here.
So we're digging in the Bible again.
And then I have another one when when Isaac married Rebekah.
Yeah.
Now that's a little different because I would say that was the norm. So like
and that was by Genesis 24:67. It was looked at by God as being a true form of marriage, right?
I wouldn't know. It's not a true form. That's
a true form of a godly couple.
I have no idea what they're talking about.
Is what it says.
No, actually, when you read it, the way that the Bible is, if you have the intercourse, that's your wife. Whether you have a ceremony of marriage.
I don't know about that though.
Or you don't have a ceremony of marriage. That's my point. You don't. That's why you see the term wife there. So she's not a wife.
Okay, listen. Here's the problem with this inference. and she gave him Bilhah, her handmaid to wife, and Jacob
Mhm.
went unto her. Okay, so
Mhm.
gave her to wife. He slept with her. This does not infer that because he slept with her, that's what made her his wife. How do you know there wasn't a ceremony involved? You don't know that? Like, you don't know that? What do you mean?
When you say that, this is what people do when they can't handle the pressure.
What
When
pressure?
there's a ceremony
Oh, here we go.
for Rachel, we can read it.
Yeah.
Jacob worked 7 years. After the 7 years, they had a ceremony. When he went in there, even if we were to go back to Genesis 29, when them 7 years was up, Laban gave Jacob Leah instead of Rachel. And then Jacob is like, why did you do that? And he said, because Leah was the older one. But there was no ceremony for Rachel.
I'm going to show you how weak this argument is.
So he had a ceremony for one, but
Okay.
had sex and married both of them.
Can you explain this to me, dude? If it was actually
Well, I don't think that means that like the sex is what makes them married.
the case that if you slept with a woman, that became your wife, why can't you show me examples of the apostles telling us this, especially Paul, that if you just slept with a woman, she immediately becomes your wife? Why can't you show us any of the teachings of Christ showing that? Why is it that you're showing a nebulous passage which just states that he slept with this woman who was given to him as his wife? You're just saying that in the absence of them writing down or documenting any type of ceremony associated with that, that therefore it means the sex is what made them husband and wife. That's absurd,
Yeah, it's kind of cherry picking.
dude. That's absurd.
So when you say nebulous, what Christians
Although, like, I'm pretty sure Andrew would do the same thing if he was using the Bible to justify his argument,
and I don't know if you classify, do you
which he is.
classify as a Christian?
I'm an Orthodox Christian.
Got you. What Christians like to do is negate the Old Testament. When Christ didn't negate the Old
I'm
Testament,
not negating anything.
you are.
I'm not.
You're saying I can't use the Old Testament as the
No, I guess he's technically arguing that, like, or he's technically arguing basically whatever the old Jews used to do is what they're supposed to do when they get married, or whatever like marriage actually is.
standard.
You can.
But when Christ was telling them not to divorce, what did he use as the standard?
Yeah, I didn't say you couldn't use the Old Testament here.
I'm asking you, what did he? Okay, then. So
Yeah, he referenced
Yeah, he was using the Old Testament himself.
what was the law, at the time. But here's the thing though, they explained, like Paul especially in great detail explained how marriage works, and it had nothing at all to
What did
do
Paul say in detail
with
how
sex.
marriage works? What
What did he say?
did Paul say?
Do you want Paul's breakdown on marriage?
What you can't just you can't just say he said it and then not tell us what he said.
No, you said he went in great detail.
Yeah, you have to like basically substantiate that claim now.
He did actually go in pretty good detail for how marriage works. Yeah.
How you get married or how you stay married?
Well, he explained basically all of it actually. So, here I can pull it up. Give me a second here.
Right.
We can
Hurry
go
up.
through what Paul details.
I think you want 1 Corinthians, the 7th chapter.
Hurry up, nigga.
Okay, let's pull up
I
1
think that's the
Corinthians
chapter
7.
that you might be referring to, because in verse 36 it says, if any man think he behaveth himself uncomely toward his virgin, and she pass the flower of her age, and need so require, let him do what he will, he sinneth not, let them marry. So it's telling him he can do what he wants with his woman. So if he
Okay,
wants
so
a
that's
ceremony, he can-
1 Corinthians 7.
7, verse 36.
Okay, let's go to 36. Let's make sure that we get this in context. Okay. Something that you guys don't really do to it. If anyone is worried that he might not be acting honorably towards the virgin he's engaged to, and if his passions are too strong and he feels he ought to marry, he should do as he wants. He is not sinning. Okay, so what do you think that
What does that mean?
means? What do you think that means?
No, you're supposed to tell us what that means, not me.
Say-
You said Paul went in great.
Well, I mean, wait, did he say that that's what he was talking about? Didn't you tell him to go to Corinthians? Is that where he was gonna go?
Detail.
No, you pulled up you told me to pull up this verse.
I
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like, was he about to go to Corinthians, or did you just tell him to look at that verse?
say, are you referring? I was trying to help you out.
Oh, well, I mean,
You
there
brought up
was no
Paul, you
need.
bring up
There was,
Paul.
yeah. So anyway, that's kind of tricky to do, to say, hey, pull up this verse because you want to discuss it, and I'm supposed to justify the verse you
No, I
wanted me to pull up.
If
Mhm.
you're having a discussion about the Bible, you say, are you talking about this? You talking to me? I mean,
That
look
was
at it and
funny.
see if
Yeah,
that's it.
he's saying that if you're with a virgin, right, and you're overcome with lust, you should go ahead and marry her. That's what he's saying. Before you take her virginity.
doesn't
That's what
say
he's
you
saying.
I wouldn't. Whoa, that's kind of crazy. They definitely wasn't giving the best relationship advice in the Bible, were they? If that's really what he was saying, it's kind of crazy.
The ceremony, which is my only, and I'm not against ceremonies.
What?
But ceremonies, if you don't have a ceremony,
Listen,
you
in
live-
Christianity, it's a sacrament. A sacrament. You agree with that, right?
in Christianity, if
Mhm.
you talk about Christianity, they fornicate. They do not have a sacrament of marriage.
Yes, they do have a sacrament of marriage. What are you
Show me.
talking about?
Show me.
You want the ecclesiastical sacraments of marriage from the Orthodox
Yes.
Church? Yeah, I can
No,
give
no.
it
What
to
I
you.
want to see how the church is doing that,
Well, what they do is
because when I look up the
they
top
have
three
what's called
churches,
a crown. What?
if the three of the U.S.'s biggest religious denominations,
All right,
in
because
turmoil
because
sex abuse and LGBT,
because they keep saying sacrament. Let's just pull it up for the class. What does sacrament mean, right? Because we did it for marriage, right? So when he says they have a sacrament, a religious ceremony or ritual regarded as imparting divine grace, such as baptism, in many Orthodox churches, penance, anointing of the sick, yada, yada, yada. Consecrated elements of the Eucharist, especially the bread of the host. See, a thing of mysterious and sacred significance, a religious symbol. I mean, yes, you could argue, like, obviously, from the first definition, a religious ceremony or ritual regarded as imparting divine grace. That's basically what the marriage ceremony is. That is basically what it is.
BGT policy. The three churches that they
You know, wishing your best blessings for the couple and whatnot.
have.
Who?
It's
Which
Catholic
churches?
Church.
Okay.
I'm gonna give you the three major ones: the U.S. Catholic Church,
Mhm.
the Southern Baptist Church,
Mhm.
the United
Mhm.
Methodist Church, the largest mainline Protestant denomination.
Yeah.
Okay.
So those three churches are
Yeah.
in sex abuse and LGBT.
Okay,
the
so
church has no authority.
let's try to untangle that nonsense first. When it comes to sexual abuse,
What does
public
that have
schools
to
have
do with
100
it?
times more sex abuse. The secular institution of public schools, 100 times more sexual abuse
They're not the
than
subject of conversation.
than the Catholic Church does.
They're
Here's
not the
why.
subject of conversation.
Yeah, it is. I'm going to explain why. Here's why. Predators go where the children are. If predators can sneak in through the Catholic Church to get access to children, they will. If they can sneak in a Protestant church to get access to children.
Yeah, like, but is he trying to say that they have no authority on marriage? Is that like, what does that really have to do with the argument, though?
They will. They're very hard to spot. They blend right in, just like they do in public schools. You just saying that because there's abuse inside of these institutions, I don't even know what that point is. What is
punishment
the
do they
point?
do when they find out
Yeah, like that's what I'm saying. Like, what is that point for?
that they're predators? What is the punishment?
For
Nothing.
which church? No, there is a punishment. Yes.
No, it's not. Like,
Yes,
I
they're
look at the article
excommunicated.
on
Listen, they're
NBC.
excommunicated, turned over to law
No, they're not.
enforcement.
They're
Yes, they are.
transferred to no, they're not. They are
Yes, they are.
transferred.
I mean, supposedly they're not excommunicated, but like they're like, oh, they just moved into like another church or something. I'm like, that's what everybody supposedly says. I don't know if that's actually true or not.
To another church.
Inside of Roman Catholicism, there
Yeah.
was cases of that. There's no doubt
A
that
lot
that's
of
true.
cases. Well, now,
Well, yeah,
Okay,
okay. But here's the
so-
thing. Again, if you make the comparison to
get-
secular institutions,
Do they get excommunicated or not? Like how many times do they have to do it before they get excommunicated? Do they get just moved to another church or do they get excommunicated?
it's the exact same thing. If the predator is found out at the administrative level, they will also try to hide it and have done thousands and thousands of examples I can give you of them also hiding it. The point is that any institution, hang on, bro, let me finish. Any institution at an administrative level will try to hide that shit. That's what they do. That's what administrations at a high level do.
hide it. Black church, white church, Hispanic church, Chinese church. When
Yeah.
it comes to molestation, you can do that to kids. When it comes to fornication,
It's not permitted. No, it's not
it is
permitted.
permitted.
No,
If
it's not
it wasn't
permitted.
Permitted. There wouldn't be a plethora of it going on in the church.
What are you talking? Okay, is murder permitted?
You don't see murder happening in the church.
Okay, is murder permitted though? No, murder's
No,
not permitted. Murder's always happening all over the place. So
Where-
therefore, like, what are you talking about? That's a stupid argument.
In church.
I don't know how we got from there to here. How do we do that?
Yeah, murder's happening in church too. What do you mean?
The murderer doesn't still get to preach in church.
Yes, they do.
No, they don't.
Yeah.
They do?
Yes, they do. There's females in Protestant churches who murdered their children who preach in those churches. Yes, they do.
Okay, I don't really have an argument for that. I mean,
Depending on the type of Protestant you're talking about. If you talk about doing slavery when they was murdering us, then yes. But if you talk about
Okay, so even that would refute your own point. That's a non sequitur, dude.
Is my point that the Christian church cannot save the West because they don't obey God. They murder, they enslave, they rape. That's
Okay, so secularists
was that the argument?
are going to save the West. Who's going to save the West?
Who's a secularist?
Anyone who's not a Christian, or believes in any type of or believes in any type of religiosity. Hang on.
Okay, good.
Or believes in any type of religiosity. That would be secularist.
Okay, no problem. So me as an Israelite, I believe in God. The Christians say that they believe in God. The
Yeah.
difference between the Christian and myself is if God says you can do it, I do it. If God says you cannot do it, I don't do it. I don't make excuses to have sex before I have a sacrament of marriage. Because even if I go by your logic, let me ask you a question. Before you have
I don't I don't think that he would disagree with any of that. But like I don't think he would like he would say that Christians don't do that.
the sacrament of marriage,
Yeah.
is it okay to have sex
No.
before then?
It's a
But,
sin.
but do people have sex before
Yeah,
then?
sure.
That a
People sin
Christian-
all the time. Yeah,
that
and
a
they sin all the time.
Right.
time after the sacrament too. It happens, yeah.
Right. So when you say monogamy can save the West, are you talking about morally?
Well, I'm saying that monogamy is better for the West
What do you mean? Of course, that's like, what do you, what?
than polygyny.
But I'm
And I
asking
gave you
for-
all of
I'm
the
asking
examples for
morally.
why. Yeah, it still would be. Yeah, morally, it's the only thing that's permitted within Christianity. Period. But even if, let's just grant for a second. Hang on. Let's just grant for a second that even it wasn't, and that polygyny was granted. It's not mandated, like you say, right? But it just
What's
like
not
you
mandated?
can do it. So you said polygyny is not mandated, but you can do it, right? Within your
Either
view.
one- So just so you can understand,
Mhm.
I wouldn't put myself as a, like I have multiple women personally.
Of
But
course.
as far as our culture,
Oh shit.
it's not a mandate where you have to do
Right. That's my point. So
Right.
there's no mandate.
You don't.
So hang on. So if there's no mandate
Mhm.
for you, okay, or for anybody else to practice inside of the prism of polygyny, how's that going to help the West anyway? Like, how is it that this really teeny tiny infinitesimal amount of men who could even practice it, why would we waste any time, energy, or resources pushing that or saying that it was okay in any way, shape, or form? All you're doing is really making this claim. I can declare myself married unilaterally, okay, because I had sex with a woman. Now she's my wife. Let me ask you this. Are any of these wives that you have, any of them?
I mean, that is technically what he said. He said the the sex is the marriage. I'm pretty sure that's what he said.
Have you
Word
ever had
for
sex
word.
with a woman and then she's not your wife? Has that ever happened to you?
No.
Okay, so you've never had.
Even I-
Yeah, so are
I'll
you
answer-
are currently in relations with every woman you've had sex with?
That's what I want to answer.
Okay.
So I wasn't always an Israelite, so I didn't always have this thought process. So I've
Okay.
had this thought process since 32
Okay.
or 33.
Mhm.
So since that time, yes, if that woman is with, unless she decides to leave, that woman that I lay with is my wife forever.
So you can
But-
unilaterally declare that you're married, and she
But
can
you-
unilaterally declare she's
You
divorced.
said
I
you don't
mean,
look at the paper marriage, right?
I'm not talking
I don't
about
know
paper
about
marriage.
all
I'm talking
that,
about
bro.
you declaring that you're married.
This gonna help you. You also said you don't agree with the paper marriage, right?
I don't believe that the state officiates marriage. I don't
Right.
think that they.
So
Yeah, I don't give them any credibility with the officiation
So
of marriage.
then we are both unilaterally declaring what we say
No,
marriage is.
I'm appealing to the
Okay, so what's
sacramental
marriage?
ecclesiology of my church and the sacrament of
Okay,
marriage.
I'm going
which
by
is-
my church.
I understand
By my
that.
school, I
So,
should-
so the,
Is that what all Hebrew Israelites believe?
and listen, I'm granting that you're going by
Right,
whatever you
yeah,
say your church is. So this
right,
gets to my point.
Ain't different than me.
Well, I'm granting it. So if this is the case, and you can unilaterally declare that
So
you're married,
whatever
can you
you say
unilaterally
your
declare you're
church is.
divorced?
But we don't get divorced.
Okay, so is all of the women you slept with
Right.
before? Okay, so hang on. So every woman you slept with before you became a Black Hebrew Israelite,
Mhm.
right? All of those women right now are your wives.
Yes, that's what I said.
Okay, so just to make sure that we got this clear, if those women leave,
This is so.
You're still married to them?
I
No.
just.
So in 1 Corinthians, the 7th chapter,
uh-huh.
it says, if the unbelieving depart, let
Yeah.
them depart. That's what it says. Because God has called you to peace. So if that woman was to leave me, then I'm
Yeah.
not bound to her anymore because she left.
What about you? Can you leave her them?
Okay.
We're not supposed to. I've never left a woman.
Yeah, but could you?
No,
No, you're not permitted to leave a woman. What if she
No.
cheats with a guy?
that's adultery.
Yeah, so that doesn't mean that she. What if she comes to you and says, "I made a mistake.
That's what Christ said.
I went and
Christ said,
slept." Yeah, so then you could get a
So?
divorce.
There's no mistaken dick.
So you could get a divorce. So then you could get a divorce.
Wait, slow down. I
Right.
never said you can't get a divorce. I
Okay.
said I haven't divorced.
Okay, so what are the grounds on which you can divorce?
Adultery.
Yeah. How?
That's it?
Wait.
Yes. That's
What if she kills one of your kids?
If sex is the marriage, then how do y'all divorce? Like, how does that work? Is divorce even like a thing? Like, especially if it's not like, like an actual contract or anything officiated by the state. Then like, who's doing it? Like, it's the Hebrew Israelite Church. He's like one of those priests, like do the ceremony for him, or like I don't.
Isn't that what Christ said?
What if she kills one of your kids?
But this is what was called like red herring, where what we're going to do is we're going to bring up the most extreme
Just
example.
answer the fucking question. What if she kills one of your kids?
I don't even think that's what a red herring is. Like, a red herring is just like bringing up something like totally unrelated.
I haven't gone through
I
that.
know you haven't, but if you did, if she killed one of your kids, could you divorce her then?
Haven't gone through that.
Could you divorce her then? Could you leave her then?
Haven't gone.
I know you haven't. I'm asking if it were to happen to somebody who was a Black Hebrew Israelite, they killed one of your
Did you
kids,
not say that?
could you leave them then or not?
If you could just say Hebrew Israelite.
Okay, fine. Hebrew Israelite, whatever. Okay, it's a common nomenclature.
Right.
I didn't mean anything by it.
I know you
But,
did.
but
I know-
please,
I know you
but please answer the question. Don't evade. If one of your wives killed one of your other wives' kids, could you leave them or not?
I would leave her.
Could you? Is that permitted?
I
Is it
could.
sinful?
Yes.
Okay, so then
No,
I guess it's not just fornication then.
That is fornication because that's murder.
What?
She's murdered. She's
That's not
murdered.
fornication.
Wait, hold on. Just to be clear. What is the definition of fornication? Hold on. Am I wrong? Like, I'm gonna just pretend I don't know anything. Consensual sexual intercourse between a man, especially a single woman, who between a man and especially single women who are not married to each other. The crime of engaging in fornication, compare adultery, yada yada, blah blah, whatever. Okay, so this is sex, like not. Yeah, I don't know what's going on right now.
Bro, do you know what fornication means? It doesn't mean murder.
Awful sex.
Yeah, that's not murder.
There's
What?
also what I'm about to tell you.
Okay.
There's also spiritual fornication. When even if you as a Christian,
Oh my
if
God.
you was to be a Muslim, does God look at that as fornication?
So spiritual fornication? It did like did you fuck the spirit or something? Like what is going on?
What? Yeah, because okay, so the intent's tied to the intent's tied to the act. That's why it's fornication.
So-
The intent of killing your
Oh,
other kid. Okay, how would the intent of killing one of your other kids, one of your wives?
says,
one-
"Thou shalt not murder."
Okay, great. Let me
against
ask the question before you answer the question. How could it possibly be that okay, yeah, I have a nasty thought about a woman, that's tied to the intent of wanting to fornicate, therefore sinful. That makes sense. How could it possibly be that if one of your wives, that if I have a lustful thought towards a woman, right, that's tied to the act of intercourse, of fornication, that's why it's sinful. It's tied to the act.
That's not
Okay.
Murdering. If one of your wives murders another one of your wife's kids, that is not tied to fornication at all. So how can you leave her?
Against God or is it for God?
What?
Is it against
Wait.
God or for God?
Yeah, but you said the specific criteria was that they had to fornicate for you to leave.
Yes, that's a normal. And then you brought up this extreme.
Yeah, and I want the answer.
Driving my daughter.
That's why ecclesiology is so important, dude.
Yeah, it's not even really an extreme. It's just like, is there anything you would like they could do that you would like leave them for, and then you somehow call it murder, fornication? At least that's what I think I just heard. Like, is that what I just heard?
I want your ecclesiology.
So are you married to everybody you have sex with?
No, of course not.
So you don't even follow the ecclesiastic authority. You saying
No, my ecclesiology says that that's not what marriage is.
I say it's better.
Yeah,
My
like
ecclesiology does not say that you having sex with a woman means that you're married to her. That's your ecclesiology.
And fornicate, which is against God.
No, I can't fornicate. I'm not allowed to.
I mean, I'm not even like I really don't even follow. Like I don't even think that makes sense. Like that doesn't. None of that makes sense.
You know, my wife, not allowed to do any of those things.
But can you have sex with a woman before you have this ecclesiastical marriage?
You're conflating
No, they're not supposed to, bro. Like I was like, what you...
two concepts.
Can you just answer the
Yeah,
question?
it's sinful to do. Can you physically do it? Yes.
Right, and they're doing it.
Yeah, but so what?
You're doing it.
obviously like you niggas are too. What the fuck?
You're conflating.
can't
You're
tell
conflating can do thing with it's permitted to do thing. Like a person's able to
But
do a thing,
America-
that doesn't mean they're permitted to do it. Bro.
America in the West has said that they've had Christian values
Yeah.
since it's been established. And if you say monogamy is the way,
Yeah.
y'all are failures at it.
Okay.
because
Well,
you promote
first of
whoredom.
all,
Well, yes. He's right about that. I mean,
You can be OnlyFans, you can be homosexual, you can be lesbian, you can do every sinful sexual.
this is I'll get to all of those points, but I'm not going to let you pivot away from the direct point that I just asked you, which is you have an ecclesiastical authority of you. Hang on.
I
You
do
said
not.
you did.
he's just taking on point.
You said I go by my own standard.
I did not say that.
So okay,
When
under
you,
your
when you said I go by my ecclesiastical church, what
Yeah.
I actually said was I go by my church, and then I said schools.
okay, so under your church law, if one of your wives kills another one of your wife's kids,
I answered that.
are you permitted to divorce her?
I answered that. I answered that.
No, you didn't answer it. Are you permitted to
I
divorce
did.
her?
I said
Then yes or no? Are you permitted to divorce her?
I'm pretty sure. Well, I'm pretty sure he did answer that. I don't. But yeah, he said he would leave her. So like, I mean, why is he asking that again?
you asked me the same question. I
Because
said,
I want a direct yes or no answer.
yes.
Yes. Okay. So then it's not just fornication. And you lied to me earlier when you said that's the
You're
only
not lying.
way. Yeah,
You're
that
not
is. Okay. So how about this?
Extreme circumstance.
Okay.
Don't even
Extreme
happen.
circumstances.
It is.
Mhm.
Show me
So-
in the Bible where a woman unalived the husband's wife's child. Show me.
Okay. First of all, why?
You have to do things.
Show me in the Bible when a
Wait, what does it? Wait, does it? It has to happen in the Bible, or it's extreme? I'm so confused.
massive corporation stole everybody's retirement savings. Can we make ecclesiastical prescriptions based around theft when we know that that's theft, even though it never happened in the Bible, bro?
I can show you when the white man stole land that wasn't theirs. That's theft. That's thievery.
What? Again, like, how do we like? We gotta stay on topic at like some point.
That's not
The name of the,
wait a second. And that has what to do with me? Am I living on stolen land?
Hypothetical banking question. So I
What?
gave a real life.
Yeah, how does that, in what way does that contend with what I'm saying? I'm saying that we can, even if the Bible doesn't mention a particular, utilize biblical Christian ethics to create solutions for the particular, hang on, for the particulars in which are being stated, like Enron. There's no case like Enron in the Bible. No case like it, but we still know under Christian ethics that falls under theft, just like we know murder. So what you're actually saying is that if one of your wives murders somebody, you can divorce them. That's what you're saying, sir.
I want everybody to pay attention to what Andrew's doing. Andrew is clearly losing his.
Well, I mean, I think sure that's grounds for divorce. Sure, if divorce is okay. I thought from like his perspective, divorce wouldn't be okay. Is like so. I don't even know why we're making this point right now. I'm so confused.
This argument. So he goes
How?
to an analogy of one of my wives unaliving
So?
a child that's not hers, but it's
Yeah.
mine.
Yeah.
And what should I do
Yeah,
in that
what should you
scenario?
do?
Which
Yeah.
I've said she would.
I got the point of him bringing it up, but like now we've gotten so far from the original like part. Like I don't even know what they're arguing about anymore.
not be my wife. But America.
No,
has-
you said that you would divorce her.
That's what not be my wife means.
Well, I don't know. You use vague cloaked language.
How
So,
many times can I answer the same question?
well, usually people say the word divorce. You say not my wife. I don't know. It's vague.
Childlike tactics.
I disagree. That's not vague. It's being very pedantic.
Because
No, it's not childlike. It's just me holding you to the fire of your own view.
in the same answer. I'm giving
No,
you-
it's vague. Listen, I'm just not going to let you get away with vagaries.
It's being a little pedantic, Andrew. Just a little bit.
That's all.
the same answer. It's not a different answer. It's not
It's
different.
listen. It's vague and it's obfuscated.
What-
It's
what do you think about it?
It's obfuscation. So I'm just asking this: are there any other conditionals besides those two in which you can leave your wife?
Well, the condition that you just did is made up because that's not in the
Yeah,
Bible.
that's what a hypothetical is.
Nigga, you could have just answered the question. I ain't gonna lie. That was a pretty straightforward question you just asked him.
They're all made up in order to test the
So
logical consistency of your position. That's true.
Monogamous. Could you rape your woman and not go to jail?
No, you wouldn't go to jail under the categorization of rape because it was under the categorization of battery. And yes, you would. And it was almost the same sentence.
Hey, fellas,
I
let's try to
just-
use grape.
Oh,
'cause
yeah,
we're,
no
let's try to use
Right,
grape.
right,
All right.
Yeah, under coverture laws,
Marital rape
mhm,
was not even illegal until 93.
you are lying through your teeth. Let me explain what actually happened.
I ain't gonna lie. This is a feminist talking point. I just heard a feminist use it in the debate earlier today. I just don't like a man using this argument. Like, what are you using this argument for? Like, first of all, if people know not to do it, you don't necessarily need laws for it. Like, if you need that to be put into law, there's a problem. So like, he might be right, but like, that doesn't mean that there was a huge problem even going on. Might have just started to be a problem for like some people, and they were like, "Yo, let's just make it a law to nip this in the bud." But like, people argue it was happening all the time. I doubt it, but who knows? Who knows? I was not alive back then. I won't pretend to know.
Look up coverture laws. Under coverture laws, which is what you're referencing right now, right? They didn't use the term. They didn't use the term marital.
Oh yeah, the other thing is like, yeah, it was probably still illegal, and they just prosecuted you differently. Like, it wasn't called marital rape or something like it. That's the other thing. Again, because like society understood it was wrong. They didn't have to have like some kind of specific law about it. Like it was probably a part of some other law.
Rape, that's true. You went to jail for battery and assault, which had the same penalty, though.
Prior to
Right. Yeah. So I'm not even gonna look it up. Like, I'm gonna tell you, I'm pretty biased. I'm probably just gonna assume that what he said is true, because that's also what I assume. Like, I'm pretty sure niggas just weren't getting away with doing that. Like, but I mean, I'm sure a lot of them were. I'm just not sure how often that was even happening. Like, I'm not from back then. That's also that, again, this is why I don't like anybody using the argument, feminists or men. Like, we don't live back then. We don't even know how big of a problem this actually was, what people were being thrown in jail for. Like, why are we? I hate when people make arguments from the past like this. A lot of the time, there's no way to actually like validate it. A lot of the shit you see from the past is propaganda. Like, you can believe a lot of it, but like, some of it is propaganda. So you got to be able to discern. Like, you got to be able to admit, like, yo, I don't know.
to the 1970s, marital rape was legal in every U.S. state and only first became partially outlawed in Michigan and Delaware.
Now define
in
what.
1974.
Yeah. Now define what
It was
marital rape
only
is.
outlawed in South Dakota and Nebraska.
Yeah.
I don't have to define what great.
Yeah. Do you realize?
What great
Do you realize?
I understand why women wanted to.
Oh my God, you're a feminist, dude. This is a feminist talking
I'm
point. Let me explain.
Not a feminist.
Yeah. Let me explain.
Monogamy makes you
That's a
feminist.
feminist. What you have is a feminist talking point. I'll explain to you.
Monogamy makes you
Yes,
feminist.
it is, bro. Let me respond. If it is, when you're talking about coverture laws, and that's what you're talking about, it is.
The other thing is like, yeah, if you actually look this up, you would probably find both points of view. It'd be up to you to decide.
It's true that because marital rape is the hardest thing in the world to prove, and it still is, by the way, to this day, one of the most difficult things in the world to prove, they didn't, under coverture laws, add marital rape. They did, for instance, though, say that the husband was responsible for all the woman's debt, various things like this, but they would send you to jail for assault, battery,
Yeah, they did. They changed a lot of the stuff and how they prosecuted things in like marriage, family court, like all of that's completely different to what it used to be.
Any such cases I can show you of this where the wife was assaulted by the husband sexually, okay?
But again, like, I don't even know why he's really responding to this. Again, the reason I hate when people make this argument is because they're completely off topic really right now. Like, they're talking about polygyny and whether it's a sin or not and whether it's good for the West. Why are we talking about when marital rape laws were put into place? Like, what does that actually have to do with the topic at hand? Like, I hate how far off the topic we are.
And they went to jail for battery. They just didn't classify it that way. You're using a feminist talking point, sir.
A polygamist can't be a feminist. A monogamist can, though. A monogamist that fights for one man, one woman is what women love.
Women love polygamy. Feminists advocated for polygamy. All the original feminists advocated.
Did he say, did he really? Did all the... Maybe I like feminists a little bit more than I thought.
For it.
Of whoredom. There's a difference. Women love to be whores. Men love to be whores. That's
okay.
Why Christianity. That's why Christianity fakes that they believe in monogamy. They do not. That's why when
when are you going to demonstrate that?
Every married man goes to the strip club, got a side chick.
No, they don't.
Fans.
You're lying.
Yes, they do.
You're lying through your teeth. No, they don't. Guaranteed. First of all, not every man does go through, especially, in fact, I would.
No, they definitely don't. But shout out to him for being a real nigga.
That especially in the classical churches, right, the more traditional churches, no, the men don't go to the strip clubs. No, they're not out gallivanting. No, they're not out whoring themselves out. They're not sleeping with lots of women. You make this prescription as though every community is like your own, sir, and it's not. Not every man who operates within Christendom is a man whore. That's ridiculous.
Unlawful sex in my community.
Yeah, not every man, but probably most of them.
In ISUPK, we don't
fornicate. The ones who can be. They at least have like a man whole phase.
Okay, we don't have OnlyFans. We don't watch porn. We don't do none of that.
If you're sleeping with multiple women, you're fornicating. You're cheating. You're cheating on your wife.
Show me in the Bible.
Okay.
More than one woman is fornication.
Yeah. So can you cheat? Are you allowed to cheat on your wife?
Explain that.
Yeah. So are you allowed to sleep with a woman?
Does that fall under fornication? Hold on. Let's pull the definition back up. Hold on. Does that fall under fornication? What acts counts as fornication? Consensual sexually intimate acts between individuals who are not married. No, I mean, so like if you're married, I don't think marrying multiple individuals counts as fornication. He might be correct here.
Woman who's not your wife.
But you got to when you ask the question, this ain't a gotcha moment. But when you say that to me, if me as let's say if I got one woman right now currently,
yeah,
and then I see another woman and I have an interest in her,
yeah,
you have to show me in the Bible where I can't marry her.
Okay. Are you allowed to, according to the Bible, are you allowed to leave your wife if she fornicates?
If your wife commits fornication, yes.
And what does that mean?
But you're not answering my question.
Yeah, I'm answering it. I just want to make sure that we're clear on terms, just like you wanted to be.
I don't think you're answering his question right now.
Be clear. What does fornication mean?
Fornication is unlawful sex. So if I'm married to my wife, and she goes and sleeps with a woman, a man, an animal, that's fornication on the subject of sex.
Okay. So if you, though, I just want to make sure it's clear on this.
Why did he throw animal in there?
You go and have sex with another woman, that's permitted because that woman just becomes your wife, right?
That's correct.
Okay, so you, in your view, can never cheat on your wife.
No, the only cheating.
How is it possible?
Wait, well, just again, you asking me another question.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, well yeah, okay, so technically, because he said the sex is the marriage is like, so it's like he's technically married to everybody he's had sex with. As soon as he has sex with them, they're his wife, right? So he can never actually fornicate. I think that's what he's saying.
Yeah, how's it possible?
Technically true.
Question. You haven't answered my question.
Well, the thing is that I'm explaining to you that what you're holding is, to your own view, is inconsistent. How do you? Is it possible? In other words,
Do that.
I guess I'm just going to ask, and then
Oh,
hopefully I get the answer.
Question. Remember when
Can
you answer yes or no?
can okay, bro?
Answer my-
Can you? Is it possible for a man to cheat on his wife, and how does that occur?
Yeah. I need you to show me.
No, I need you to answer my question, dude.
No, I asked my question first.
He's saying, how are you cheating on your wife if every woman you have sex with becomes your wife when you have sex with her?
Oh
And
my
what
God.
you said was you wanted to give a setup to make sure you understood
Like, can you actually ever fornicate?
me.
Yes.
Fine.
Yes.
We got
So
the point where you can answer my question.
because I listen, I just want to make sure that you understand.
This is
I'm
funny.
sinning
Oh
if
my
I have
God.
more than one woman.
It's fucking
You're
hilarious.
not being logically consistent. So first we have to start with consistency.
Hey,
I
real
get
quick,
all
just to
I'm
be
trying
fair
do-
here, just to be fair, I've been following Andrew. I think if you even give him the courtesy to answer his question, I think it would still play out in both of you guys' favor. So I think that'll be equal either way. So he did ask the question first. Just answer his question, and then you can go ahead and ask your question.
Yeah. So what two men have brought, or what God's brought together, let nobody separate, right? If you're having sex with a woman, a different woman other than the person that God has brought you together with, you would be fornicating. That's what that's
Okay, yeah. From the monogamous point of view, this is consistent, right?
what that would mean.
What I asked you to do was
Oh, you want the exact passage? Are you fucking serious? Okay, fine.
here's the question.
Okay.
I asked you to show me in the Bible where me
Yeah.
having more than one woman
Y'all niggas gonna have to have a Bible fight. Get out your Bibles.
is a sin. Because
Well, I just told you. Do you want the exact passage?
Genesis 2:24 does
my
not
God.
say I'm
Yeah,
in
nigga,
sin
get
if
out.
I have
Get out your goddamn Bible.
more than one woman.
Let's just grant it, just for the sake of argument for a second. Is it the case that you can ever cheat on your wife or not?
What are you granting first?
I'm just going to grant the position that I don't know that you can never cheat on your wife. I guess
I do want him to answer that question.
I don't know.
Granting the position that I'm
Uh-huh.
not in sin for having more than one wife? Are you granting that?
No. But what I am doing is this. I just want you to answer the fucking question, dude.
I know.
Will you answer it?
You to answer the fucking question.
Okay. And I just told you. Do you want the exact passage?
You told
Is what you're after the
He is low key running from this question.
exact passage?
He's
You
kind of
told me-
running
Oh
from
my
this
God, this
question.
fucking guy.
24.
Is he not running
Yeah,
from this
Do you
question?
want the exact passage because he has been in good faith? He's trying to answer the question. So what do you want? What do you want for him to answer the
Mr.
question?
Moderator, Cooley, I do want the exact passage
Thank
that
you.
matches, that matches my question.
Yeah, nigga, get out your Bible. But also, can you actually fornicate, nigga? Like answer that question. Like, with your logic, can you actually fornicate?
All right.
I'm in sin for having more than one woman. I'm asking him to show me a passage that says if I have more than one woman,
By your worldview, no, you're not, because everybody you have sex with is your wife.
I'm in sin. That's what I'm asking him.
All
I
right.
want the scripture.
Okay. So you just want, and I'll give you the exact scripture. Hang on. Let me pull it up here. 1 second. I'm sorry, it's difficult because I'm on two screens right now, and I usually have. So give me 1 second, and I'll pull
All
this
good.
up.
Andrew, while you're pulling that up, everybody get the likes up. Andrew Wilson is currently live on his stream, like his podcast. Cap is currently live on his stream, like his podcast. And you know we here live on No Fugazi, like the podcast. Hey, real quick question for you two. Are you guys good to take a few questions at the end of for the chat?
Yes.
You good, Cap? What about you, Andrew?
Oh yeah, I'm happy to do it. Just
Okay,
give me
cool.
a second here.
Got you.
Yeah, again, like, this is like a 5-hour video, so we're not gonna get to all of this today. I don't know how much of this is the actual debate, how much they're responding to like super chats at the end, because sometimes they do that. I usually don't watch that portion. We'll see if like there's anything like funny there, maybe. But I'm gonna wrap this up as soon as Comedicine starts. So anybody who has never seen it, isn't familiar with it, we'll drop a link in the chat for you. I'm gonna watch a little bit more.
So the only questions that we will be taking is super chats. So you got to go ahead and support the channel, send in some super chats, and we'll answer all questions. And we'll also put the link if you want to come up on stream and ask these gentlemen some questions. We'll go ahead and do that and have a few people come on up as well. But you got to send in some super chats in order to come up. And actually, I would say in order to come up on stream, we're doing nothing under $10
Yeah.
for super chats.
So can you pull up real quick 1 Timothy verse 3 and 2?
Yeah, I got it in front of me. I got it.
Can you read it?
Yes. What can I start at verse 1?
Sure. I don't start at 3 and 2. You asked me for the exact passage.
No, the reason why I said 1, well, no problem. A bishop then must be blameless, the husband of one wife,
Mhm.
vigilant, sober, of good behavior, given to hospitality, apt to teach.
Okay. And then what about 12?
Verse 12.
I'm so confused right now.
Let the deacons be the husbands
I'm no biblical scholar.
of one wife,
Mhm.
ruling their children and their own houses well.
And are you a deacon in your church, sir?
No,
What's a deacon?
you'd have to tell me. Deacon is what you lie about in your church.
Yeah, tell me what a deacon is.
Deacon is what you lie about in your church. Oh shit, we getting into it now, huh?
I don't know. You tell me.
You don't know what a deacon is?
I'm not in a church.
You just said that you're in a church.
No.
Yeah, he's not in your church. Like, if he was like Muslim, that doesn't mean he knows what a deacon is.
Literally 30 minutes ago, you said you were in a church.
When anybody go back and watch the
Yeah, he's a Hebrew Israelite, so I assume he's like quote unquote Jewish, right?
replay, I did say the word church, and I corrected myself.
Oh, now you corrected
School.
yourself. Okay.
All you gotta do is go back and listen.
So what is a deacon?
I don't know. You tell me.
You don't know what a
listen
deacon
to
is?
this-
What do you
supposed
think?
to tell me where I'm in
What is
sync.
he saying a deacon is then?
I use church as like an all-encompassing term for like religious temples or whatever the fuck. Like we get what you mean. Like your religious group, your church.
It says a deacon must be blank.
Yeah, what is a deacon according to him? What is he saying a deacon is?
I don't know.
You don't know what you don't know what he's saying a deacon is?
You brought me to this verse.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So what is a deaking?
You breaking it down. I don't know.
Do you believe that there were deacons?
He's just asking you for your definition or whatever you consider a deacon to be. Like he's basically asking to see if you understand what it's saying. Like he can give you his interpretation, but at the end of the day, you guys are debating. So he's gonna want to know like whether you agree with what a deacon is or not. And he should probably just ask you why you're saying that they lie about what a deacon is. He should probably just go ahead and ask you that question. That'll probably get you further in the discussion. I doubt he will though.
It had to be because
What were they?
Yeah.
What were they?
Oh,
You don't know? Okay. All right, you don't know.
what the deacon is.
Okay, you don't know.
So break it down. How am I in sin?
Why do we need to break it down? You don't know what it is. So how do you know if you're in violation of it if you don't even know what
Yeah, I mean,
it is?
Because this is not saying if you have more than one wife,
Yeah.
you're in sin.
Well, wait a second. How many wives are they allowed to have?
This says let
One.
the deacons. Well, first let's start with the bishop, right?
Yeah.
So it says the bishop, in order to be blameless, has to have one wife.
Let's start with a deacon.
But the first verse 2 said bishop.
Yeah, let's start with a deacon though.
Why can't I start with the bishop?
Well, I mean, fine, start with the bishop, but then move to the deacon. It'll say
I mean, he did just ask you about the deacon, so you should probably start with the deacon.
the same thing.
Was Christ a bishop?
Yeah. What does that have to do with anything? Don't ask me a question. Answer
I mean, I've heard people argue that he was.
the question.
You're the last person to say that after all the questions.
Bro,
you
I literally just answered yours. You asked me for the passage. I gave you the passage. We're on the passage. Now answer my questions.
in circles.
Bro, how is it circles? It's not circles. I'm literally asking you a question, bro. Answer it.
Circles, like I said.
Oh my God,
Now,
this
I'll
guy.
answer the
Circles.
question.
Yeah. What's a deacon?
Right, I'm going to answer. You said I
Okay.
can start with bishop. So when it says bishop in that verse, it's talking about anyone that has the office of a bishop. The wife is not even a literal wife.
Yeah, but okay, whatever.
Otherwise, Christ didn't have a wife. Paul didn't have a wife. And Christ was a bishop.
The apostles were the bishops under Christ. Okay, under Christ.
My answer.
The thing is like,
My answer.
what do you think a deacon? Okay, so what is a deacon?
Ephesians 2 and 25. It says for
All right, so medicine is about to start, and they're getting caught up on what a deacon is. And it's like, we're finally on like the real debate about like their churches. I don't know how involved this is gonna get. We can pick this back up tomorrow, maybe the day after. But so far, I'm not sure about Tazaryach's arguments. Well, even starting out, it was kind of rough because he didn't really have like much of an argument. And the further we get into it, it's just like he says sex is what the marriage is, and then Andrew's trying to ask him, okay, so can you ever even fornicate because every woman you have sex with is apparently your wife? And yeah, I don't know where we're gonna go from here, but for right now, I'm gonna set it down, learn a little bit about some anatomy, some biology, some chemistry, biological chemistry, yada yada. So learn about some medicine. I'll catch y'all later. Thank you for joining me. See you next time. Peace.